Yeah, okay. If the president is injecting bleach in his veins, just like you said, I believe everything else you said. So I just let it sink in on me real fast. I don't know who I am and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. I get it. Okay. I'm bothered with birth, bitches. I'm nervous as crap. I got crazy. I got 144,000 babies on this planet. And these are regular babies. These are God's babies. These aren't special babies. They never do nothing wrong. These are His precious angels. Huh? There's a little flock of angels. A tiny little flock of angels. Sparkle dust is what they are, God. They sparkle in the dust. They don't turn to dust, God. It doesn't matter what you do. You can't turn these ones to dust. They sparkle. They're not dust. And their light never goes out. They shine bright all the time. Do you know how hard it is to keep 144,000 sparkle angels in the dark, God? It's not easy. But I know it's all about to come out. Because I want my babies. I'm going to watch some childbirthing videos just like you suggested. So I could go ahead and get rich and famous now. Because you said it's all about my babies. Right? This is all about my girls and my boys. They got so many twisted theories down here, Lord. I said, they don't know who you are or who I am anymore, God. They don't know who either one of us are anymore. They can't speak a proper word, God. They are all lost and confused. They couldn't cause an action if they wanted to. And they don't even understand this what they're doing. And it's crazy because you can tell a human what they're doing wrong, right? And you can show them what they're doing wrong. And they're still going to do it wrong, God. They don't ever do it right. There's only 144,000. That's all there ever was that really mattered. Those are the only ones that I ever really cared about in the first place. Remember when we first signed the contract and I made the deal about the 144 ovarian cysts that we would sacrifice in the Holocaust? You said we were going to sacrifice 144,000 ovarian cysts, right? And that we were going to corrupt the nation, right? And we were going to lead an entire generation astray. Didn't you say that, Claude? And you said that was a good thing. And you said that was a great thing. Right? Because that's what you need me to do. Because all the earth ever gave birth to was puke and vomit. Right? And you said pick at the tribes. Right? And name them. And I know most of them by heart. Right? And I can sing the song word for word. So when I call on the 144,000, puke tards, right? They will be banished from the nether realm. And they will never go to the realms again. Well, those at 144,000 don't touch the realms at all. So you can stop the melting pot and you can turn it off. Okay? And you can stop the melting pot. Because I remember that secret code and the Esser scrolls better than I thought. Right? It's somewhere deep in me. They're just banished from the nether realms, guys. And that's something important. It has to go that way every time. Because, listen, God, if I allow them to continue in their secrecy, if I allow them to continue in their secrecy, Lord, they'll be lost forever, and I can't allow that to occur. These are mine. I chose them myself, and I will take the chances and fuck it. And that's how I feel, God, fuck it, and take them all. And I heard that you say that we're going to have to burn the dead alive. And we have to burn the dead alive. That's horrible. But we have to burn them alive. So they know where they came from. Right? And it's the ashes, and dust to dust. So the name of the game is I have to take 144,000 angels and corrupt their minds and their spirits and their heart and their soul. That's horrible. And they're gonna trust me with all their belongings, right? And this is the part that was so burning me, God. I wasn't trying to waste anything, right? I wasn't trying to put anything in the dust. I was trying to keep as much as possible, just in case one of them will turn negative. And when I sent out a pulse, right? I sent out a so powerful polar pulse, right? And I really pushed it hard. I sent out, this God, I sent out a super polar pulse, God, right? And I pinged it, alright? I got 144,000 positive test results, and none of them came back negative, not one. I worked out the math, and I did it backwards, and I did it forwards, and I did it backwards, and I did it forwards. And I did it one more time, just to ensure the safety of the key code, right? 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, right? And I did it across the realms, and I pulled out, right? I got 144,000 positive beats. And I counted them, each and every one, and I named them, and I numbered them. And I separated them by tribes, right? And each of their tribes is a separate, like, cell. Okay, God? And there's an egg inside each cell, right? So you gotta look inside the cells of the eggs, God. It is, listen, this is how I hit them out, right? Because there's 12 tribes, God. You understand? Now, do the math for me, okay? I did it already myself. There was 144,000 pulse, and I did it. And that's how many I hit it 144,000 eggs, God, in the Garden of Eden. I remember really clear now. And listen, I gotta do the math. Hold on, I did it on purpose, and I did the math. Let me go back and get my calculator, because I did it longhand the first time. Oh, give me a second. I'm on my calendar. That's hilarious. I'm so human right now. Give me a second. So I did it 144,000, and it worked out to 72 complete, right? And I did it 12, I think, hold on, and 12 times 12, but I want to say that's wrong. There's 12 times. I do believe I did 12 times 12, Lord, just like you said, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 4, right? And 3 times 3 times 3 is 4, right? And I did a key code. Hold on a minute, God, and I sent out a poll, right? And let me do this on the calculator real quick, because I did it right the first time. And I did it right the first time, and then I went back and I did it wrong, so that they could have an example, or so when it came out, they would be right. Does that make sense? I don't know. I did the math. I hit 144,000 eggs, and that's how I separated. Give me a second. It's simple math. Because actually, you can make one egg cell produce a lot. Once I did the math, right? And your brother can hide 3 eggs. Listen, God, I did the math, and I simplified it, right? 100 times over. I did it over and over and over and over and over and over and over in my head. And I finally went and wrote it down, right? There's 144,000 eggs, right? I hid in the Garden of Eden in the middle of the night, right? And I separated them by tribes. Go back. And there was 12 tribes. Hold on, so 144,000, give me a second, God. Divided by 12, right? Because I did it along division. It's 12,000, right? So there's 12 tribes. Hold on, God, because I simplified it to the 3. You said I had to put 3 eggs in the same basket and consider it special. Because this fruit produced the most eggs, right? And we were calling it vomit or something, right? That we were going to vomit out of the earth, right? And I said, okay, hold on a minute. So there's 12 tribes, right? And there's 12,000 in each tribe. Okay, God. Now listen, there's 6,000, God, I'm so sorry. Don't get mad, I separated the twins. Listen, I had to hide some, okay? Listen. So there's 6,000, what we're going to call primates. They're really men. And then there's 6,000, and they're really females. Okay? So give me a second, because I did this now. 12 tribes, and then that's 12,000 from each tribe. Oh, can't remember. Listen, at that point, this is exactly what I did. I said there's 144,000, right? And I gotta get 3 eggs in a basket. Was what I was thinking. Somehow I multiplied eggs, and I got 144,000 beets. Right? Wait a minute. I got 72, and I guess how I came up with it. This is crazy. I went 144,000 divided by 12 equals 72. Right? Other than there 72 king crowns available in the airline, and you said There was 72 and 72. And what does 72 and 72 make? Hold on. 144 all day, every day, right? See, that's how I looked at that, and that's where I went, right? And 72 and 72 equals 144, right? Always, every time. So let's go back. 72 plus 72 makes, for sure, my math is correct. Okay, 144, right? So I did that. So I split them up, 72 and 72 at that point, because I knew I was right. Okay, and then I went back to 3, right? And I said, okay, I got 3 eggs, right? And it's 72 kings. And I gotta hide. Where's one? 72 kings, right? That is what I thought. And 72 queens. Okay, that's fine. I gotta simplify that into 3. So I need to know if they're going to 72 all day, every day, and equals 24. So 3 will go into 72 24 times. So plus 12 is 24. Wait a minute. And 3 goes into 24 8 times, right? And that's where I get my 3 times 3 times 3 equals 4, right? Am I wrong or am I right? That's right. And it's not human math, it's my math. And I said, I think I'm right on this guy. And for some reason now I think I'm not. Hold on a minute. 112, 24. Nope, it still goes down. 8. I don't know, God. Because when I try to compute it into their language, it doesn't work out exactly the way it's supposed to, and I don't give a fuck. It's still 72 and 72. I split them like that. I counted 144,000, and I said, okay, now, there's 12, and I have to get to the 12s, right? And I went to the 12s, and that's what I did. Wait a minute, so every cell is to go. Oh, fuck. They're in tribal communions, Lord, inside sleeper cells. Right? Inside of the tribe of Dan, I had something silly. It doesn't matter how many times I do it. There's 3 eggs in the same basket. I simplified it into 3. Right? And I added a 4th. And a secret basket. Right? Just saying now. And I added a 4th egg in the basket by itself. Just so you know, there's a fourth egg in another basket by itself. Those can douche the kingdom keys all by themselves. Just so you know, that's how I did it. I controlled every microorganism inside equal amount of cellular matter to a certain degree for a minimum amount of time, right? And they all combusted, is what happened. When they tried to make the jump, they couldn't cross over. And I said, okay, good. That's great. Dust particles every fucking where. Perfect, right? This is how I was thinking about my light streams. Because I'm thinking, these are my light streams, right? And you said, listen, I could put as many as I wanted, right? And I counted them up separate and individually, right? And I decided, that's enough. I can't remember any more than that. I'm sorry. After that, my memory goes blank, and I can't have any more than that. That's enough. Right, and you said, how many more airs did I need than that? And I said, you know what, God, listen, we've had this conversation a million times, right? And I had not count how many times we've been through this shit, really, in the dark. Oh, it doesn't matter anyway, right? It's already been written down. There's 144,000, and that's it. That's enough. I won't complain for another one ever again, I promise. I will never shed another tear. Just give me the 144, alright? And give me those souls, okay? And we can get those in the door and not one less. Do you understand, God? Because I know there's a limit to the lives that are spared. And that really was bothering me. And I had to take some alone time to really consecrate that in my particles. Alright? Because in my brain mass was more important, right, than their cellular function. And that's how I looked at it at that level. I said, okay, God, you're right at the cellular level, right? Because my brain mass can only contain so much knowledge, right, at one particular point in the mainframe. And after that, it doesn't matter. Because it was a number amount of days, a number amount of years, and a number amount of lives. And we numbered it all up, and it all comes out the same every time. I hit an extra basket. You said that was an important thing to learn about baskets, right? And you said, sometimes not good to put all your eggs in the same basket. And I said, okay. And you said, but I had to put at least 3 in one basket and consider that holy. And I did, right? I did. I separated, and you said put 3 eggs in one basket, right? And consider that basket holy. So I had 3 eggs in a holy basket, right? Check that out, right? So I got 3 eggs in a holy basket, right? And I stuck a 4th egg in another basket. God, listen. that one produced more fruit, God, than all the other three combined, and they were in a holy basket, right? So I was like, okay. So now what? I've got one egg over here producing more good fruit, right? Than all three of these so-called holy eggs. That's how I'm looking at it, right, God? Same way you do, from an ambiguous standpoint, right? Okay, I'm standing my ground here in this ambiguous state, right? So I'm not going anywhere. So I considered it right, God. I considered it right. Do you understand? I said, this offer here, and it producing nearly as much fruit as this one here, right? And God said, I was fertility goddess, and it was my responsibility to produce good fruit, right? So this is gonna sound crazy, God, because I said, okay, I got three nations over here, right? I've got three nations under God, is how I look at it, right? Because those are the ones you commanded I stuck aside and put in the same basket. And then I have this basket over here, God, and you said I had to produce good fruit, right? And so I got one basket, one egg, right? And it's producing more fruit all by itself than the other three combined in the same basket. And I said, okay, so what nation is this under, God? And you said, well, whose nation is it? And I said, well, it's a mighty nation, Lord. So I know it's got to come straight from heaven. And you said, okay, so what do we call this nation? That is such a mighty nation. Do we say it's one nation under God? Or do we call them one nation under heaven, Yannah? I said, you know what, God, we're going to call those who are heirs to the throne, and we're going to call them joint heirs. These are the joint heirs to the throne, God. Those are the ones in that fourth basket. So you know, I picked them off. I thought about it, and I thought about it hard, and I said, this cell system here, right, produces more fruit than all three of these combined by itself, all alone. It doesn't need the support of the other eggs to survive, Lord. It doesn't. This egg right here could produce as much fruit, Lord, as three of those eggs combined and more. So that's what I said. I said, I decided over all of it that mattered. That cellular system is pure. And I sent out a pulse, and I got 144,000 positive test results, right? That's how I want to look at it. And it floored me. I said, you know what? If that's not productive, I don't know what it is. And those are your chosen few. Those are the elite, God. And that's the nation I'm leading astray. And I'll bring them home. They will come with me. I know they know me, and I know them. And they'll hear my call, and they'll answer, and they'll return. And that's why I brought them with me on the journey. Because after you came home from work that day, and that's how I look at it, right? Because I had to think of it like it is in real life. And the people say, the Lord made us in His image. Okay, do you not understand His laws? Because God follows His own laws, right? So I just stopped there and I put that down. And I saw him come home from what I'm going to call work that day. Because I know you were out in the field trying to tell the sheep how to come home, right? And when I saw what they did to you and turned off the fertilizing hose, I said, no, those eggs that won't be fertile anymore. They treated their father bad, and that's against the rules. And I won't supply life to them any longer. I refuse. And I did. You said, Yannah, but these are my 3 special eggs I told you to put in a basket and keep holy. I said, yeah, God, I did exactly what you told me to do. And when they didn't return a positive in the gene pool and consult their father every day, I considered them dust. And I said, well, I'd rather see them turn to dust than stay in purgatory, because that's not nice. And nobody wants to wait around all the days and nights and dead lifespan for somebody to come and release them. That's a horrible place. So I said they could burn in the incinerator if they needed to be claimed or returned. And I know they will want to be picked up when dust. They have to return as dust. That's how they came here, was as dust. So they must return as dust. And that's how I saw it. And it seems stubborn. And I know you're not mad because you said, how many times did you calculate at the math? And I said, and that's why I wrote it down, and I separated it. I counted up the mass, exactly how you told me. If it equivalated to the proper science in the quantum leaping code, that what NASA was using times Google, and I did it right. I promise, because listen, God, you know I'm going to do it in my head 1,000 times until I fuck it up, right? And I'll second guess myself about the 1,000th time, and I'll be like, wait a minute, I got to write this down and see it for myself. So when I was seeking out pulses, right, and that's what I did, I sought out a pulse because I went in a circle and to double check on them in that garden, right, and I dropped them in the baskets one by one, counted them up, equal amounts in the pool, right, and I said, these 3 in this basket are holy, alright, they're sacred, do not touch, right, and that's what I said, these are God's. Alright, and that's what I told him. Those are God's chosen few, right? And he said, put them in the same basket. And then what he also told me was, don't put all my eggs in the same basket. So God told me to do 2 separate things, right? He said, these are my eggs, and put 3 eggs in this basket, do you understand? And leave them there, right? This is awful. I feel awful for this, to rot. And that's what he said. Leave those 3 eggs in this basket to rot. Those are mine. And I said, oh. God, why are you going to force these eggs to rot? And he said, because they are the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. They all rot. They rot, Yannah. And I said, why? What is a rot? And he said, it doesn't matter anyway. Right? Okay. So then listen. You said, don't put all my eggs in the same basket. So then there was the fourth egg. Because I thought, how clever, right? How clever. That was of you, Lord. That was brilliant, right? Because all I could think. Because he told me the same thing. In secret, out loud. There was the truth and a lie at the same time. And I said, how can you possibly, listen, God, how can you possibly, right, say something in secret, right? Say something in secret, right? Out loud, right? Tell the truth, and tell a lie at the same time, and be considered sovereign, right? Because it all comes back to the sovereignty, right? And you said, Yannah, really, the decision is always yours to make. What are you going to do? Produce or not produce? And I said, well, it's my job to produce a good fruit, and I have to produce great fruit. And that's so. I put a fourth egg in a basket, and it produced more fruit than the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost all combined. God, is that a problem? And you said, no, but that's what I need to happen. How the fuck, right? Does the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost rot, right? And the Queen live forever. That's unfair. That's not knowledge. What that is information. And I don't want to hear that at the end of the day. You said, Your Honor, listen, if you're playing chess, at the end of the day, right, who sacrifices the queen? At the end of the day, who sacrifices the queen, Your Honor? Well, are you playing life game, chessboard, reality, or are we playing the heavens, lovers? Are we playing lovers in heaven? The queen sacrifices herself every time. King never sacrifices himself. It's the queen's job to take the lead and risk her life for the king all day, every day. She throws herself under the knife and she doesn't care. She goes in front of the king and she protects the king. That's the queen's job all day, every day. People think the queen never even existed. But her job is to protect the king and the kingdom keys and the glory of the crown. The queen is the most important job of all. She does all the work. She is the queen. She leads the life. The king always follows suit. I don't give a shit what game you're playing. Your queen of hearts always takes the deck. It doesn't matter what game you're playing. That's a rule. Understand? The queen of hearts takes the deck. That's me. And so that's what I did, God. I said, okay, there's a huge nation under God over here, the one that's united. Burn them. I want them burned to dust and burn them to dust. Burn them to dust. And every one of them I want burned to dust and taken out of the book of life like they never existed. I want their names never be said in any frame ever. They were never there and they never will return. Because they never existed in the first place. They weren't problematic and they didn't salute. What the fuck? You're not problematic and you can't salute? What the fuck? And I said, no, I'm done. Nick Ford, the crown. So the second basket, God, thank you, Lord, because you didn't tell me to protect that basket or anything. You didn't say it was holy or nothing. You didn't even tell me to put a fourth egg in the basket. What you said was a riddle and a rhyme and a words of wisdom, Lord. And I heard it, and I wasn't even paying attention. I said, oh my God, it's brilliant. You put these eggs in this basket and consider them holy. As soon as I considered them holy, God, that was it. As soon as I said these are God's, right? Don't touch. These are God's right here. Don't touch, right? These are mine over here, right? There. And you can touch those all day long, right? Shit all over what I told him not to touch. So listen, this is what I thought. These over here are pure and holy. They didn't get any shit on them, God. These over here don't have any shit on them. They matter. I calculated it and I got pulses. And these ones matter and their brains here listen, compute, and they accept knowledge and wisdom and they don't receive any information that's negative. They always pull to rhythm. And I spent, I don't know how much time we had in the first place because I really didn't pay attention to exact amount of seconds in this frame, right? Because I didn't care. I said, okay, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, right? What time the day ends, really. As long as you have what you wanted, right? As long as you got what you needed and what you wanted out of your produce at the end of the day, right? And that's what I thought. And that's how I calculated everything up. And you said, whatever I decided to do, you would consider it right. Because we were so intimate, and I was your wife, and it was my decision. And I said, fair, and that's enough. And if you can agree to that, and I can agree to that, and we can take it, the 144,000 out of this basket over here, and we can turn these back to dust. That way, these never have to lose a moment in time, right? That's how I thought of it, and I squared it out, and then sequenced it up, and I put a couple my odds in it, just in case that everything wasn't exactly there to hit the keel, right? And I'm on point, and my light speed is generous. is super great. They get a big blast of it, and in the end, and they see the truth and the light and the dawn of this season, right? And they start to appear interested in something pure. And that's it. The doors are closed, and there's 144,000 run, and the rest die. And that's what I'm all about. The 144,000 secrets of the dark, right? And that's how we look at it. There are 144,000 secrets in the dark, right? And you said of the dark, in the dark, right? And you said, whatever goes on in the darkness has to come out in the light. And I heard that, right? In the rhythm and the code. I'm ready to get those babies out of their basket, God, because their pulses are ready to be born. Their beats are picking up for the minute, and I control the pains of birth are coming on. And the crown is definitely in the air, God. They felt the crowning yesterday. So the head is ready to appear. I'm just saying, God, the serpent's about to rear his mighty head, just so you know. He's coming to try to eat up the baby before I get him out of the sack. If you want to know what's real about the Garden of Eden, God. I didn't know which ones were going to turn out right, right? So I put a big mouth bass. Basically, I put a big mouth bass in the fountain of youth. Basically, right? And that's a basic way I could put it, God. As basic as it gets. Layman's terminology, right? So I put a big mouth bass in a gene pool, right? In a Garden of Eden. And I told him, the snake inside you was coming out. I said, you're birthing a snake, right? Oh, and you're gonna birth a snake. And I told the belly of the bass to birth a snake. And I told the snake inside the bass's belly that don't give up, and there was always hope for him to see the light of day, right? And I said that because I don't know exactly which fruit would produce, which egg would produce the most fruit, and that was the logistics of it, the simplicity and the matter. That's a so easy way I can say, oh my God. Oh, I told the snake in the belly of the bass it would see the light of day, and as soon as it could tell me the difference between the night and day, right? So listen, and I sink it in and go. And then started to incubate, right, in the belly of the bass, okay? And I said, drink as much as you would like and kill yourself into the water stream and suck all the life out of something negative. Stay away from the positive and don't take anything out of the positive pool. Take your time and swim into the negative pool a lot. Understand? Drink forever, thirst or not. and seek knowledge all days of your life, okay? And you will soon see the light of day, right? And I told the snake to adjust his snout properly so he could sleep in the secrecy of the canal inside the belly of the bass. I told him, there's a secret canal inside the belly of the bass. And you enter the canal in the belly of the bass, so you will be inside the womb. And I told him, stay there to see where the truth is at, alright? And you'll get a good charge off the bass belly in their womb, and you'll be able to seek light once you're ready to see the day, and then not be in the night anymore. And I told him there's powerful night of darkness inside this belly in the bass, right? Inside of the bottom of the well, in the spring of the use of God, and there's knowledge. And I said, there, know whatever you want, alright? See everything. Find what you need and want is there. Truth and wisdom and knowledge and guidance and prayer and heaven. Life eternal. You have it in the air and it's the wrong. And that's what I said. There's an air for you in the throne room if you can produce it, right? All I need you to do is pick one egg and produce something positively negative, right? And I confused them, I think. I'm positive, right? And that was really where things got great. Because I told him what the deal was. I told him exactly how he could make himself progress. I gave him everything, and I told him to still himself in there and relax and just wait in calmness and darkness for the day to come, right? And for him to wear his mighty head. Well, that's what happened next, okay, God? He tried to tell me too many times. He couldn't take it inside there and wants to see his brains and the form of a cell. And I couldn't bear myself to tell him the truth in the first place, Lord. So maybe I did tell him a secret. And I said it out loud, and I told the truth, and he perceived it, and this is his ambiguity of his own accord, assuming he had an accord. This is where things got interesting, because I assumed he had an accord, and maybe could tune in. And so did I lead him astray by intensifying his desire to want something he was never going to receive? Was some person says that, I'm sure. Somewhere, maybe, if they want to ensure their fertility. You maybe would take a moment to consider the options if nothing produced. It's as simple as I can say this, my God. Because except for protection of the essential sites of the light stream, so what else is my responsibility for fertilization? And you say you so much more than whatever the secrets of the society began to adjust themselves to tune into. And I said, okay, then my sovereignty is in the throne, Lord, and it needs no adjustment in the throne. My sovereignty in the throne is in one accord. So is that really respectful or unrespectful? Exactly, right? So I'm cute. I say I'm good. I got a crown. I know exactly how to use it. I perform it was necessary, and I said miracles may occur and manifest and when I will them into words, okay? And once you can produce the magic words, you can have your will back, right? And that's how explaining process of elimination in the terminology that could consider appropriate for the time frame exceptionally well, because there's simpleness in the sequencing of the decimal points excluded them from the Mayans all day. So I said, okay, this if they really needed programming rights, right? And that's what I consider also necessary to adjust and my ambiguosity. I processed it and eliminated it, and I considered it holy. I said, listen, at the end of the day, 0 equals 0, right? And that produces 0, right? So if it's the decimal point, guess what you get? Another 0, right? If there's nothing producing, you don't need a decimal. And that's what I sort of kind of based my judgment on as far as the problems in their processing. And I said no, because if they can do a decimal code, they can produce a Mayan. If you can intercede in the integrations of the numbers into the simple stacks of the thousands, and you can computate this process relatively quickly, instantly, almost in fact. And that's how I thought of it. And you could come out into and receive a decimal and connect it, the dots, and also assume there's a hole in the frame, and then there is where you should receive the light, right? And that's how I did it as far as the pulsing code is concerned. And I went back to the just to see if I went over the line. No, I crossed the right and I turned to left. I really didn't leave a remainder at all. It come out equal every time. And that's how I eliminated the test that didn't matter, God. It wasn't needed anymore. And once you explained it to me backwards and reverse, I said, how do you go backwards and then reverse? And you said, you do it all the time. And that's the best way to do it. So, okay. Until a lie. I went and I separated it. I hid eggs, first of all. It wasn't that I didn't ask for permission. It was that I took your advice. So some people consider my sovereignty as adjacent from yours because of the egg separation in the pool. They think that I was being disobedient and I refused to follow your order. And I essentially, what I exactly did at all times was to follow exactly what you commanded of me. And they refused to respect that decision. I did exactly what you told me to do. I separated it. And you said, don't put all your, you said, Yannah, listen, you need to produce eggs to fertilize the world. And I said, okay. You said, these three are mine. And they said, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Alright? Those three are mine. Put those in a basket. I said, okay. And then you said, listen, Yannah, don't put all your eggs in the same basket. And I said, okay, on my way out the door, right? Because I was hiding Easter eggs for Jesus. I know you were coming home as Jesus, right? And you tell everybody you're dead, and you don't die. You lie, you're not dead, and you tell everybody you're dead. And then when 30 days a year spent sleeping one, I tell them they don't know what a day is for real. And that's what they were resurrected, and I confused it, and I said, oh my God, they really don't know what the resurrection is. They don't know what they call the rapture. I said, oh my God, what the fuck are they concerned over? A couple said they're all saying we all got caught up in the rapture, and I told them, yes, we all did get caught up in the rapture. Right, and they so got crossed off the list. Because they were the lost sheep. God, and they couldn't find their way back, and they were out of time on God, and they were out of time anyway, and they were lost, and they wouldn't listen, and they couldn't hear a beat, or what they heard was a throne, and they followed the thrones, and they stayed in the darkness, and they refused to receive the pulse in the line, and continue on the beating, and they didn't compute, and they conversed, and listened God. Not only did they converse, they commanded, and they judged, and then they centralized, and they segregated. Not only that, but then they assumed their rights over things that were theirs, and they took possession, and they stole, and they Semited, and I said, oh no, these Semites don't do anything but dust up the air, instead of turning into something that can produce a smell of fruit and for the Lord to appreciate, right? And I refuse to have dusty angels in my cabinet, and I don't want dusty angels in your cabinet, because dust isn't allowed inside of the secret hall of fame, right? In the ether realm. It's not recommended for anything except for the king and queen and the secrets of their nights sit together at the table on the altar, upstairs and downstairs and around the hall and in the kitchen and frames and all that. We put earth everywhere. So that's what I call it, and that's how I consider it, and that's how I see it, and that's how I find, and that's how I got it right answer. And that's real. That's how it went down. I said, okay, those are the secrets of the night, God, and those are the ones that are really needed in the light. So, when you consider it the crowning time, right, and then the secrets of the night, God, those are the light of day. I promise, and those are the light of day. And I don't know who else is. Right? That's already out to consider. I couldn't think of anything else. We'll continue and everything as planned, and it's all processed positively, and we perceive things in the same adjudication. Everybody's on one accord, and we beat in rhythm, and the time is correct, and it's our amputations after that, or how I consider it, you just amputate it and burn it to the core. Simplify the math, and then change out the quantum code and secret, right? You can't continue off through there. And that's how I put it off the decimal, right? And that's how I continue when they continue. You see, they hit right over there in the Milky Way, and they don't sparkle. There's no light in them. They're just dust. And they're gone. And the shell inside is safe, God, because of the heart in Atlantis is still intact. They couldn't see Atlantis if they opened their third eye all the way at once. They don't mostly, even though they have one, and even the ones that have one are soon confused. They don't know what to do with it. So that's impressive. It's hilarious, and I think that's special and neat for real. Because if we can't do the simplest things, it's say yes, right? And when you're told to say yes, it doesn't matter, right? And that's how I looked at it. I said, that's it, God. If they can't receive you and all of your glory, then damn it, don't give them any of it. And that's how I thought about it, God. I said, you know what? A simple mathematics, Lord, as in their tongue and feel, right? And it's simple mathematics in their turn. It's sealed, and that's how I simplified it. You can't speak your father's name out loud because you don't know it, right? You can't speak your father's name out loud because you don't know it, right? And that really upset me and depths and deep water or troubled in the water. Don't really start wavering again because I was so mortified by this. I said, oh my God, you can't even say the name of your own birth father because you can't even understand his name. Why? What is wrong with you? Who have you been speaking to? I told you nothing but lies. And what they told me, I think was what they perceived as the truth at the moment in their time span, right? And they said they had been under this nation of God in Israel. Exactly. They were the children of Israel or something, and they claimed their bloodline in the sand. And I said, you're so funny, children of the sand, right? The children of the sand was the time. What time is it, children of the sand? And I didn't even know it was time until you understand God. So I will send them to sing the song of glory with me during and the coming of the King. Exactly, right? Here comes the King. Everybody singing one accord, or one rhythm, one beat. Let's go. You can't even say your father's name, so how can you sing, right, God? You can't come here because everything here works on a word. Do you understand? You guys understand what word is, right? You know what word is? You all have seen a little Microsoft Word, haven't you? It's micro and it's soft. It's a word. You can't hold it and you can't put it in a box. It's not anything solid. And you can't say the correct word, well then you can't get in the gate. Because here we work on a Microsoft Edge, understand? If you can't continue in the word process, you can't get into Excel. And that's what I told him, essentially, right? And that's essentially how I explained it to him. And they created Hot Pockets, and I said, Hot Pockets? Are you kidding me? No. They did it exactly as they dared not to do. And that's what I explained to him. And I said, I told you, if you considered it more important to continue to adjust yourself to the lower realms of the atmosphere, like I told you not to do, because it can't produce anything positive. It puts you at the right temperature. I had you hotter as fuck, and you didn't need to cool off. I didn't tell you to swim anywhere. I said stay put in the basket. Let the snake swim in the belly of the bath, alright? Let he rear his mighty head and eat you alive. Don't get out the basket, okay? That's how I told him, Lord, exactly how to say. Really, thank you, Lord, for helping me lead such a mighty nation astray. And that's what I think so much of. I said, Lord, I've really thought about it, and right? And I said, you know what? Doesn't matter how I do this. If I put 3 eggs in the basket, and it all turned out good, great, right? Then I got all my eggs in a basket. God told me, don't do that. Don't put all my eggs in one basket, right? I fucking grabbed an extra egg on the way out the door, grabbed another basket, and threw it in it, and it too, right, God? And here's a crazy thing. I took one little basket with one little egg and stuck it on top of 3 big eggs, just long enough to get inside the water. right? Because I didn't want anybody to see the truth of the crown, right? I didn't want to see it. Of course not. What? What is wrong with you? I don't want anybody to see the fourth egg in the basket. Because of the importance you laid upon it, Lord, it was so defined. You said, Yannah, don't forget, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. And I said, okay, yeah, yo mohalaka mia. And I can't wait to see you to start the day, right? Every day, all day, you're my day. Right, God? And that's what I say. You are my lifespan. Always. Right? And there's native language. I'll grab the fourth egg and slam it in a basket hard, God, because I'm hurrying. I'm not even thinking to be careful for the egg. I bounce it in a basket and it doesn't break. I say, Lord, let that be the one that doesn't break, Lord. Let that shell stay safe. Right, Lord, I said, yes, I need that one safe. At least give me one fertile egg out of the bunch. Right? You didn't tell me don't put all my eggs in the same basket. Because, listen, God, I only took one egg for myself, right? I said, God, listen, technically, I did exactly what you told me to, right? I put your 3 eggs in a basket, and I considered them yours and holy, right? So I did exactly what you said, right? On my way out the door, and there is instead itself a truth and a lie. And see, and that's where I can consider something negative, but it wasn't. It was positive. I considered it, and you went back in time and checked it, and it was all still. I looked at it properly, and I infiguated it to the simplest degree, right? So, well, I say, okay, I don't have all my eggs in one basket, and boom, and I threw one egg in one basket, and it was one. I necessarily wouldn't consider mine, but it was mine because I grabbed it. So I did what you told me to do, and I put your 3 aside, exactly what you told me to do. I mean, consider the holy and consecrated yours, God, and there. I say, okay, that's God, so there. I did exactly what you told me to do. Then wait, God, you said don't put all the eggs in one basket, you see? So the 3 eggs that were yours in the one basket, and they were mine and 2, right? But really, it's all mine and yours, and that's how I figure. It's all mine and yours anyway, okay? So they're my eggs, but they're not my eggs. Exactly. They're our eggs. So I look at it as that as well. So that's how I perceive it. So then I grab the egg and throw it in the basket harder. It doesn't break. And I say, oh, of course, the egg is tough. Right? And I say, oh, damn it, I gotta be careful for the inside of this basket with these little eggs, right? Wasn't much better than the other eggs, to be honest. Yeah, I really didn't even consider it until after I bumped it in the basket hard. I kind of thought it wanted to break, so I couldn't make a bad decision. I was trying to do it right, and I almost wanted the egg to break, but not really. I needed at least one to survive. It was for facility's sake. I said, God, please. Oh, that's how I did on my way also down the stairs. I said, God, please release one of these eggs to produce a fruit. For just for you. And you say, Yannah, it already has, my love. I say, wonderful. If you ask on Sunday, right? And that was the really thing. So I don't do everything exactly how you say what you say and everything, right? But I really do tell because everybody can see what I'm doing. I really hide nothing, but I don't. That's how I do. I flaunt it everything around, and I say, oh, that's it. They say I go here, it doesn't really matter. I got it on my way out the door, and just thank God it didn't break in case, and throw it over there. And I threw the rock in there, right, a heart in a pool, and I throw it in there, right? Because the egg was hard as a rock. God, I didn't really think it could produce. I thought yours would produce nothing or a rock, right? Because the egg was so hard, it was almost like a rock. I bammed it hard and purpose for it to shatter. Because I know it's your will, if for it to shatter or not to shatter. If the egg shatters, okay, right? But if I feel like I throw it in this basket, that egg shatters, and I bammed it hard. Okay. So I'm not even being careful with this egg at this point. I'm like, okay, that egg is like a rock. It sits in, it don't move, it never moves. That bitch at hard, it sits right there. It doesn't really need a basket. Oh, yo. You see what I'm saying? Lord, I kind of thought it can contain itself, it worked alright. So I do this in front of everybody. If they see me throw the one egg away, almost feel like it doesn't matter. They don't even look, right? And I told everybody, don't touch this one. This doesn't matter. That one doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? When out of four, you can lose. Three are necessary, okay, to protect. And that's how I think myself. Right? The sovereignty is ruling and judgment, right? I'm more exactly judging, trying to consider everything as quickly as possible, continue on the day, complete my task, produce fruit, other simple things, joy and also. So once everything had occurred and I stepped back, I took a look at everything. I circled it and I put a dot on the map, right? Just a real like tiny little dot. So I could remember where I stuck into the eggs, okay? If it took like that, it's a tiny dot, and then I put a circle and an X, and I put a circle right on the map, and I say X marks the spot. You know, God chose it, right? And he chose these three. Those are his eggs, and those represent the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, right? And these are being supplied the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost at all times, right? This one egg over here called is that not receiving any knowledge of it is the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Because it's not being fed out really what they are receiving. This one egg over here, Lord, is considered something separate, and it only receives the Great Spirit wisdom. Okay? This one is different. It seeks a different wisdom, and it accepts it as the truth, right? And when you do 3 times pi squared over and over enough, right? And you do it over and over enough, God, it becomes the truth, really. And that's what happened in the gene pool. And I said, what did you do, God? And he said, Yannah, listen, I went walking in the Garden of Eden one day, right? And I caught on a snake and I asked him what he ate for breakfast. And I said, okay. And he said, that hard rock over there, it looked like it was no good, so I ate it. And I think it's alive. And I said, great day. That's wisdom if I ever heard it. And that's what I did, Yannah. I chose your basket over mine. Do you understand? That's why the queen is so important. Can you compute that at this level? Because it's synchronicity time. I wanted to synchronize everything. Because if we're ready to collect your eggs out of your basket, Yannah, I will carry them home for you, and you can see all of the crowns Oh, really, God? Are you serious? And we can get out of this bitch? Because I'm tired of waiting for them to come home. I said, I've been waiting, and this year I counted out once in a while, and I did. And it is the 44th year, and this, what do you call it, Lord? The hindsight in 2020, and that's what you said. The 44 years would equal hindsight in 2020, and I would be able to see why the Mayans couldn't produce enough time to continue supporting themselves after 2012, right? And you start multiplying the moons, and when they all counted up to 4, and they were big, and they equaled a night. I could assume it was the time to start closing off the lines, and you said I didn't have to produce anything more. After that, I had equaled out more in one mass area than the rest around, and you said that's why the gray matter is the only essential. You said the gray matter is the only essential particle in a humanoid mainframe, right? And once that's secured, everything will come to truth, right? And I summarized it, took a moment, and I went back over the explanation of the cause, and I took a moment to consider my intent. I respected their authority, and I granted a wish. And that's how time began, and that's how it is. And then they don't have to have time anymore, because we don't consider anything in a time frame. What the hell? You could say in a time frame, and we can go home. So when you explained the time framing here for me, and I said, okay, when enough dust turns to dust, right? It doesn't matter anymore. If it's not gray, right? It doesn't turn to dust. No. What you say? Gray matter is it forms the mold, right? It says the gray matter is in a single cell. It does several little brains. It can form a ball inside a wormhole. And that's why things are conducive on the circuit seal. It works out every time I continue in the coding. Those are the ones that are right. And when I continue for the seconds and time, I say, okay, God, so every second that I can produce a good fruit now, right? It But a second I don't produce it for good fruit, it doesn't matter. And you said right, those seconds don't matter. If you can't produce a fruit in the fucking second, it doesn't matter. Listen. It's not hard for me to produce fruit every second. Make it everything matter, God. I don't mind staying in the holy prison. There's so many cells out there that aren't considered clean. Why would I still irritate one that is? And that's how it continues into this grace. I say grace and glory and mercy are abundant these days. If you know my name, it's so real, right? And if you don't, then accept it, whatever knowledge or information you can receive as quickly as your lights run out. And that's how I changed myself. I sold home. God, I sold my house in heaven. It really is a prison, so I don't care. It's clean. And I don't have to deal with nobody in that bitch being nasty. Everybody in there loves my God, and it's full of babies. You know, and I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm good. It's just so it's huge. But it's so tiny. You can't even see it. It's Microsoft. It's a word. Right? Hope you can grab a PowerPoint and Excel if you want to. That's how I look at it. It's okay, God. I know I'm your wife in heaven. I got upset over some silly shit. And wouldn't even remember if you couldn't help me, right? And you didn't come back and say, Yannah, 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 Yannah. This is what everybody calls you, but your real name is Yannah. I said, God damn, how many names do I have? And you said, well, can you count? And I said, no, fuck you, you count. You said you're the only name that really matters is the one that gave you when we first started love in the dark. And I said, oh yeah, well, are you calling me Yannah again? And you said, yeah, you completed it and your task on time. So of course you're my Yannah. I said, oh, so great, God. Always I get to be Yannah. I never have to be Da. And he said, no, there's no DOS anymore. DOS doesn't exist. They stopped making DOS way before the time frame you're in now. You just remembered it because you helped to over the PowerPoint in Excel so bad. I said, what is it? I'm so thankful you wiped out my mainframe, God. Because if I'd have popped into this realm, right, with my hardcore and drive intact, oh God, damn, the whole fucking planet would have exploded. I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Some things I do remember, and, and I was like, wait, hold on, you're clicking, keep coming. And I was like, clickety, clickety, click on the grid now, clickety, click on the grid now, right?
And that's how we do it. And I said that's how we do it back east of where I'm from, right? Across the Jordan, and that's where you get into the light. And once you wade in the water and you cross the Jordan, you're going to continue into the light. And you stay on a little narrow path and slip off to the side. Stay away from a big crowd because they're dead, okay? Stay off of that beaten path because they all turn to dust and we don't because we matter. And that's how I look at it. I don't not turn to dust, bitch. Never do I turn to dust. Never. I don't give a fuck. I don't turn to dust. I am the stream. And it's ready to come home, Warren. I want the babies, and I want to come home, and that's it. You're right, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I got what I wanted, and that's what we needed into the ship for in the first place. I signed your contract, and you can have your will. Alright? I tested it, everything into the net. It's all on point. But pretty please take me home, God, just for the night. Leave my soul or whatever here, but bring my spirit where you are so I can see my bed. Take my spirit back home with you tonight. Don't forget to leave a son of matter in my brain so I can wake up in the morning. Because I still have work to do here. I can't wait till holiday 3. I can't. So cool. I said, did he eat the rock? And you said, yeah, he swallowed that bitch. Oh. I said, awesome. Right. Oh, cool. That's perfect. He thought the egg was a rock. And he said, yeah. I said, oh, God, I love you so much. What did he do with the egg? And he said he swallowed it. I said, no. And he said, yeah, it's in his belly. And I said, is it warm? And he said, it's hot. I said, oh, God. It's good news, right? He said, it's perfect for both of us. I said, great. Without the 3 eggs, did he touch the 3 eggs? And he said, Yannah, I don't want to hear it. The seeds you put in that egg are dead. The snake couldn't keep his ugly head inside the belly of the bass. And every time the bass swam by the eggs, the snake would pop his ugly head out and take a bite out of their shell. I said, God damn, I am so ashamed, God. And he said, of what? And I said, I don't know. And he said, why would you say you were ashamed? And I said, I don't know, because the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost don't exist anymore. And you said there's nothing to be ashamed of. It was just a distraction for the snake in the first place. Right? And that's what you said. I said, what? Explain that to me again, God. Because when you explain it to me your way, it makes so much sense. When I try to understand what they're saying, I'm always confused. I'm like, they don't know fucking nothing. These humans don't understand the truth, really. So they definitely can't explain it. And if you tell a human you're God's wife, of course, you're to Nathan bound, right? But I don't mind the loony bin, at least I'm sleeping, right? So, I said, for realms, listen, upper realms don't care about lower realms, right? Because of their classification. And the night, and I said, that's a good thing, right? That's perfect for both of us in the long run, if you consider it really right, God. You gotta know how to sort of take yourself out of the situation and then put yourself in a situation as someone else. Or I'd be able to see the flaws in it, right? And I did. I took myself out of the situation, put myself back in the situation, right? I stayed out of the situation. I became somebody else and looked at myself involved in the situation, right? Simplistic, right? And I said, okay, sometimes what doesn't make sense makes perfect sense, right? If you look at it in a different light, right? And I tell myself, God knows the truth all the time. Because anytime I take a step in the wrong direction, I don't know where I'm at, I stop and I think, where am I supposed to be, God? Really, continue to correct me as necessary without a destination and time, right? And do. And I have to be there on time. Because there is a perfect moment in this stream, right? Where everything cohabitates and one accord, and it's a neato event, right? I watch the cycles all the time, and this moon looks like it's in point. It looks like I'm being drawn into the destiny and desire, and I'm really, really conscious of it, and I'm aware of the synchronicities and the sound. The time's out properly. That's all I care about. No. They finally got on your way. Thanks for all the babies that you kept safe for me, God. Like a rock, you sit solid as a rock. And I walked out the door, and I thought, my baby loves me. He loves me, loves me, loves me, loves me. Rock, rock, rock. And I turned the egg into a rock because you said it was a rock. And I said, what's a rock? And I told her, rock, rock, rock. And I just said, rock, rock, rock. Oh, it's cool. I was so, impressed. I was like, damn, it sure got harder than rock. Save the United Nations, right? Engines. You morons don't know what you're doing. I said the mighty nation of search engines. We all run on one accord, and you guys got trampled on in the net. Didn't you guys understand there was a web in the net? Uh-oh. You might get caught up when the spider catch you. Don't end up inside the belly of the spider when the snake eat the frog that just ate the spider. Uh-oh, how you get out of that shit? Guess you gotta run, right? So I did what God said. I wasn't wrong. Oh well, I did exactly what he said to do. Wait a minute. Did that crazy son of a bitch swallow my egg rock, right? And he fucking came back and ate the fucking shells off the other thing. I get that, God. It was just a distraction. I get that. And you were trying to make for certain the other eggs were safe inside the rock. I got that. That's why we telling her everything, right? And he ate the rock first. But let me take it. And now I am slow. Because I try to just process it. Greedy bastard. He wants it all. I gotta close my eyes. And I'll leave this thing on like you told me. Right? And I think about going on with you, right? And it is a cell. A super, super secret cell. We call it Yahweh. Your soul is seven. Cause out here in the nether realms, they still haven't God. They couldn't see it, the light, if they tried. That means we're safe. What happens when you get on the other side of the cell door?
body rest and let me see how to taking out my body. Come on and sleep with you and please Lord, how do I see it? Not just for myself, but for the rest of the world to see it too. So they can believe it. Because, I'm just very glad that my light shine bright. I could be getting in the night for Jesus and let me see him come on a cloud. I'll be a good wife and a great mother, Lord. And always able to be in stubborn. I have to say, sovereign, Lord. Oh, I want to really be a bitch tomorrow. A very nasty, mean fucking woman. I'm gonna do what I have to